Rise and consolidation of British power in India. The rise and consolidation of British power in India is a complex historical process that unfolded over several centuries. The British presence in India can be traced back to the early 17th century with the establishment of the East India Company. Here's a brief overview of the key phases in this historical development. Establishment of the East India Company, Battle of Plassey, expansion and subjugation, British control over South India, British control over North India, Sepoy Mutiny, consolidation under the British Crown. Establishment of the East India Company 1600. The East India Company, an English trading company, was granted a royal charter by Queen Elizabeth I in 1600. Its initial objective was to engage in trade with the East Indies, including India. The company established trading posts along the coast of India, initially for commerce, but later became more involved in local politics. Battle of Plassey, 1757. One of the turning points in the British consolidation of power in India was the Battle of Plassey in 1757. The British East India Company, under the leadership of Robert Clive, defeated the Nawab of Bengal, Siraj-ud-Dowlah. This victory gave the British significant control over Bengal, a key economic and political region in India. Expansion and subjugation, 18th century. Following the Battle of Plassey, the East India Company continued its expansion both militarily and politically. The company secured various treaties with Indian rulers, enabling them to establish control over different regions. The dual administration system, where Indian rulers remained as titular heads under British control, was often employed. British control over South India. The British gradually expanded their influence to South India through a series of wars and treaties with local rulers. The Carnatic Wars, early to mid-18th century, and the Anglo-Mysore Wars, late 18th century, were instrumental in establishing British control over the southern regions. British control over North India. The British continued their expansion into northern India through various wars and alliances. The Anglo-Maratha Wars and the Anglo-Sikh Wars were significant conflicts that led to the British asserting dominance over these regions. Sepoy Mutiny, 1857 to 1858. The Indian Rebellion of 1857, often referred to as the Sepoy Mutiny or the First War of Indian Independence, marked a major turning point. It began as a mutiny among Indian soldiers in the British East India Company's army, but escalated into a widespread rebellion against British rule. The British government intervened, and following the suppression of the uprising, India came under direct British Crown rule. Consolidation under the British Crown, 1858 onward. After the suppression of the rebellion, India was officially transferred from the control of the East India Company to the British Crown in 1858. The British government, through the Secretary of State for India, directly administered India as a colony. The process of British rule in India continued until independence in 1947. The legacy of British colonialism had profound and lasting effects on India's political, economic, and social structures. Thanks for watching.